Today we're going to be doing a Belay device tier list. I've put together a tier list. I have a spreadsheet that only I could see where these things are going to go, where they belong. I have about 21 devices that I've tried to put in the tier list. I got, basically on my spreadsheet, I have the price of the device. I'm judging by the price of the device, the weight of the device, and then some arbitrary things like safe, what I think is safe, and then another thing that maybe I'm calling it WWJD. What would Josh do? That's the only way I can figure out how to properly tier list these devices. Okay, so let's get right into it. So this is gonna, I probably already said this, but I'll say it again. This is a live video, but let me put the chat on. But I'm gonna edit it again so that I cut out all the fluff out of here. So if you want to not watch a live video, you can check this again where it's all edited and trimmed down. But right now, we're just gonna be having fun and doing it live. So we're gonna start. It's basically just an alphabetical order. I got it. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about the 8. Okay, the 8 is really hard to place because if I'm placing it by price, and if I'm placing it by weight, then we have something funny that happens here because do I have an 8? So an 8 it could either be super heavy. This one's steel. Okay, I can knock somebody out with this thing. It could be super heavy, or it could be super light. I think Edelrid make like one that's 35 grams, which would be the lightest device of this entire list. So it could literally go from C tier to S tier just based on the weight. But I have to add some more factors into it. So I gave this thing, it's a 5 for the price, okay? I mean, it's the cheapest thing you can get on the market. Now, safety wise, this is how I kind of am contemplating on safety, okay? So safety wise, if the belayer lets go of a device, are you gonna die or not? That's how I'm kind of judging what's gonna happen here. Welcome to the chat, guys. Welcome to the video. So I'm giving it a 1 if you let go of the device, if you're gonna die, and a 2 if it catches you. That's kind of how I'm ranking it. Maybe it may be a 3 or something if it's a super safe device. So I got things ranked around kind of on, and I have to fudge the numbers a little bit because that's just the way it goes. Okay. So anyway, this thing, it's getting a D. It's getting a D. Okay, and it could go up based on the weight, like I said, but it's a D device. This thing right here, 80 kilonewtons, and that's crazy strong. Okay, it's crazy strong, but you know, okay, I have to put it on D. Here's why. If someone was belaying me with this, I'd either think 2 things. I'm either gonna get a really nice soft catch, or I'm gonna die. and that all depends on who's belaying me. Okay, I don't know. All right, so what's next on the list here? Okay, an ATC. All right, this is what's known as a tubed device, and this is kind of, climbers started with what's called the kind of a, well, we'll get into that. Okay, this is kind of a later generation of what we started out with. We've got to this, okay, and this is kind of like basic. This is like 3rd generation. Right? We had like body belays and then Munter hitches, which we'll talk about later, and then we had these tube devices. If you let go of the rope with this thing, you're gonna die. Now, however, they use these maybe with a V here. They use these in competitions because you want to let people not fall down, swing, and hit like a head wall or something. You want to let people, what's called letting them run. They fall, and you let them continue falling. You don't give them a hard catch. This is really good at that. So where does it fall on the list? Okay, so an ATC is about like 20 bucks, and this thing weighs maybe 60 grams. So it's super light, super cheap, but not the safest. I'm either going to get a really good belay with this, or I'm not going to get a belay. Would I give this to? I guess with safety, I got to think about this. If it's a really good device, I have to be able to give it to a pro, and I have to be able to give it to a Gumby. I would have no problem giving this to somebody I trust. But somebody straight out the gym that just started, they're not belaying me with this thing, okay? It's not going to happen. So our buddy over here, the ATC with no V grooves, nothing, what we got here? We got, it's a B. I'm giving it a B. It's going to get a B. Okay, so we're giving the ATC a B. We got 21 devices here to talk about. I kind of have to run through these a little quicker, but the more information I get out, the less I have to talk about the later ones. So we'll get through this. Okay, so B tier. Okay, the ATC. All right, now next, the Birdie. Okay, the Birdie is a mechanically brake. This is like a passive braking assist, kind of like just adds friction. It's a tube. It doesn't really passively brake. It's just a tube device. Now a Birdie, you have mechanical assist. So as the rope goes through here, this part goes up and the rope gets jammed back here. So this device is mechanically assisting your brake or your belay. So it's a copy of the Grigri. If you, I'll show you what a Grigri is. It's a Grigri-esque device. The rope kind of shows down here on the Birdie. They save some weight. It's all metal. It feels good. Let's see what the price is on the Birdie. The price on the Birdie is $90, and the weight is 210 grams. So it's a bit heavier, a bit pricier, little safer. Okay, I would give this. I wouldn't mind seeing this in the gym, and I wouldn't mind giving this to a pro or giving it to a Gumby. However, I actually might not want to give it to a pro. I might look a little bit sus if I give this to a pro. Little too much friction on the Birdie. So I think there's better devices on this list, to be honest. But I own a Birdie, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up here. I have a Birdie. It's a little bit grippy. Okay, it's a little bit grippy. What we got on the tier list? So with the price and the weight, we're giving this a C. This is getting a C. All right, you might not say this is a belay device, but it is. Your body, the humble self belay. This is where it all started. Okay, a body belay. It's a body belay, and with this, we're just adding friction. Now, what does a body belay cost? Nothing. What does it weigh? Nothing. Every climber should know how to make themselves a device. Now, just by that, you'd think, oh, well, it's going to be S tier because because it's priceless and weightless. Except, it's really painful, and we're going to have to get into the WWJD, what would Joshua do points, and say that I wouldn't really want to do this. You don't really want a body belay, but you better know how to body belay. So because of that, it's getting this C tier. Same as a Birdie. You should know, every climber should know how to body belay. So we're giving this a C tier. It's priceless, literally. Okay, what we got next? The Clickup. I gotta say, I've never actually had any experience with Clickup. I've watched a bunch of videos on them. It looks like it does a job. It does one job. You're not gonna wanna. It's strictly a belay device. You're not gonna want to repel with this. So these devices here, you could belay and you could repel, and I'm kind of adding that into the factor here, belaying and repelling. And also, it looks like if it clicks up, which is the name, it might be really annoying. You might start short roping climbers. I don't know if any of you have any. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you guys have any experience with the Clickup. With the price, what we got the price here? Where's the price? $80 for a Clickup. And I checked all these prices on like Amazon and tried to get the best prices on them. 115 grams is the weight. A bit heavy, a bit pricey, but not break the bank price. And you're gonna ask me what tier list is this? Because it only does one job and it's kind of a one-trick pony, it's getting a D. Which, you know, I don't know. It gets a D. What do you guys think? What do you guys think in the chat about the Clickup? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. Maybe because I need to try it, but with the price and the weight, it's going there. All right, this is a device. Next device. This device just came on my radar, and I think I should pick it up. It's a Cipher. So this thing is really light, for one, and really cheap. Let's see what this bad boy is. So the Cipher is 20 bucks, 60 grams, super light. I wish I had a picture of it facing the other way. On this side, it's a really deep groove, and on this side, it's a more shallow groove. So you actually have 6 options of friction here. As you can see on this picture, you could have it here, there, or even like behind here, adding way more friction. So the rope could be down low or up higher, and you could be belaying with a deep groove or the not. Really interesting device. So I'm thinking about picking one of these up. For 20 bucks, I should definitely own one of these things. So what does it get? Because it's so cheap and because it's so light, this thing made it to S tier. I don't have any experience with it, but it does more than one job as well. Because it's got holes on either side, like an ATC, we can rappel on 2 lines. So, like with a Grigri or a Birdie-esque device, you're only going to be rappel on one side. And of course, you could still rappel down from a belay station. You're just going to have to you have to add you have to close the top of the station with a beaner and then rappel on one line and then pull down the other end. So you have to do a little bit more work to rappel with a Grigri, but you still could. But this thing, you don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about having a gear above you. Just rappel on 2 lines. So, and you could, here's another thing. This is probably why I should move it from S tier to A tier, now that I'm thinking about it. There's no guide mode here. So, like an ATC guide, or as we'll talk about maybe the pilot soon, you could put this in guide mode and take up your second. So, I'm making a split decision right now. And I'm bringing this from S tier to A tier just because I can't think of a way right now to take up a second easily with this. You'd have to have the device below you, and you wouldn't be able to belay with the device above your head. So I'm moving it to A tier. Maybe I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I should definitely pick one of these up. I'm actually really interested in it. Really interested in it. Okay. There we go. All right, so now what we got next? Oh, okay. The Eddy. All right. I hate this thing. I'm sorry. I really don't like it. Okay, I'll tell you why. The Eddy is $150. Okay, so a Grigri right now is going for like what? $80 maybe on Amazon. This thing is a worse Grigri, in my opinion. First of all, it has the anti, what's it called? What's it called, chat? Help me out. What's it called when you panic braking? So when you pull the lever and you pull a little too hard, it clicks and then it goes around. So if you ever get on a stiff rope, you're done. The device is just going to keep on clicking. You're never going to get down. Number two, it's backwards from a Grigri. So muscle memory is super important in climbing. You have to like with the Grigri, I could put my rope into a Grigri in pitch black darkness. And I know that if I got this device, my muscle memory would be fighting against me. Now, of course, it's got labels on it. It's got, this one looks like it might be oh no, I think I'm thinking about the other Edelrid device for rope access that has a double click to open feature. This one doesn't. So honestly, it's a worse Grigri, super heavy. Also, it has a cam in here. I should have got it on a picture. There's a funny looking cam in here. And if you pay out slack and that cam clicks, sorry, I want to get rid of this ugly X. If that cam clicks, you're now kind of like stuck in short rope mode. So now you gotta like press on the cam and pull up rope, and you're taking your hand off the brake line. So you know it really gets you to belay like a Gumby. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So that just because of that, the eddy is getting, yep, the eddy is getting F tier. This is our first F tier device. Let me know if any of you have one of these and what you think. But it's getting an F for me, F tier. It's get a Grigri. A Grigri would. I don't see why you want to choose that over a Grigri. All right, let's see. Here's some good devices here. We're getting some good. The Giga Jul. I always get the Giga and the Megajul kind of confused. So the Giga Jul is interesting. It's either a tube device like this ATC, which is why it has these two green things here, or it's like the Megajul, which is like a geometry. Because of the geometry here of the device, when the rope gets pulled up, this device tilts and causes more friction on the rope. So we have like a it's not mechanical like a Grigri, but it's kind of like a geometry. It breaks like that. And then you give slack with this part here. You kind of cam it out off the rope. And we have a guide mode feature here. The ring here on both the Mega and Giga Jul don't give me that much confidence. But this thing is a contender. Let's see what we got here for price. Is $60. That's not bad. 121 grams. Is this really safe? It's unless you confuse this thing and put it backwards and it's not a tube anymore. It may make it into tube mode. For that, it could be a little bit more dangerous. You got to know what you're doing. But would I give this to a complete Gumby? I would probably give it, if I set it up for them, I wouldn't worry about them letting go of the rope. It would catch me. And also would definitely not hesitate giving it to somebody who knows what they're doing. So I really like it. Where did it fall into? Let's see. This is the Giga Jul. Giga Jul gets A tier. The Giga Jul is getting A tier. Funny enough. I feel like it's better than this Cipher. But it's got A tier. It could be, the Giga could be S tier, to be honest. Giga could be S tier. All right, what we got after the Giga? We got the Jul 2. Okay, this is just the same, kind of the same. It's like breaks with this geometry, but it does less than what the Giga did. But it's super light. It's lighter. It's less confusing. It doesn't have a guide mode though, so the utility is lower. Safety is good. Utility is lower. The weight is really good. And what's the price? Well, we got the weight for the weight and the price here. The Jul 2, $40, 105 grams. So it's a little bit heavier than, funny enough, this Cipher thing. So this thing is like really solid metal. I'm guessing this Cipher must be made of aluminum. So this has got some confidence metal in it. What we got here for the Cipher? Oh no, this is the Jul 2. Or is it Jul squared? I guess it's Jul squared. This is a little 2, Jul squared. C tier. We got C tier. It just doesn't do enough. It just doesn't do enough. It does a lot. It just doesn't do enough. So the Grigri is the OG. The Grigri's been around for as long as I can remember. I used one when I was a kid. It mechanically breaks because as the rope pulls on this climber end here, it pulls up this cam. I'm actually doing a video soon of, this is not a Grigri. This is actually, well, kind of, it's the Neox. This is what we'll get to this one in a minute. But just for demonstration purposes, the rope pulls up on this, and you can see this part here goes up. And as the rope pulls this up, you can see this end over here starts pinching down. Do I have my Birdie? I didn't grab my Birdie? My goodness. Good thing I don't have a ton of subscribers. Okay, so it pinches the rope there, and then we have added friction. This is the Neox. I got 2. I'm actually going to do a funny video with these too. So those are coming up. If you want to see that, like and subscribe. I got something. I might do a giveaway. I might give one of those away. So comment on this video, like it, subscribe or something. Or maybe you got to come back and watch the one I'm going to edit because this one's going to disappear after I post it. The Grigri, the price is $80 right now. Really good price. Everyone should own a Grigri. 175 grams. It's got some weight to it. You would not want a Grigri to come loose off of your leader's harness and smack you in the head. Let me tell you that. That didn't happen to me. That's not why I talk like I'm nuts. True story. Okay, so we're giving the Grigri a B. Grigri is great. The Grigri really is great. But what does the Grigri not do? You can't rappel on 2 lines. So it doesn't do, you can't rappel on 2 lines, or you can't take 2 people up. You can't simul climb. Okay, oh boo. Well, because of that, it's getting B. It's getting B tier. B tier and B tier together is beer. Look at that. Where are we? We're at the Grigri, the Megajul. Okay, I think the Megajul is a crowd favorite. It is light, it is cheap, and it's a jack of all trades. It could do a lot of things. It's got this guide mode ring, and they now, this used to be a little bit thinner. I think this groove here is now gone. They've beefed it up a bit. I would still like to see it beefier, but then you add weight to it. It does a lot of things, and people really do dig it a lot. You need this little front hole here is so you could uncam it in guide mode and lower people a little bit. Now, the guides I talk to tell me that this thing is a pain in the ass to guide with because it just has way too much friction, even on like thinner ropes. So it does everything. It's a jack of all trades, but it's a master of none. Let's see what the Megajul's getting. Let's see here. What did we give the Megajul? It's $40, 65 grams. What did we give this boy? Okay, we give it A tier. What is going to get S tier? This could easily be S tier if my guide friends didn't tell me that they would rather not have it because they tell me they'd rather have the Megajul because, and they said even Edelrid kind of poo-poos on it because they think this one's better. The Giga is better than the Mega. What are you guys saying here? S tier, absolutely. I'm sorry. The Giga Jul. Yeah, Giga Jul is S tier. Okay, everyone's saying Giga Jul needs to go to S tier. Okay, you know what? We're moving the Giga Jul because the chat's saying we're gonna listen to the chat. Okay, we're moving this up to S tier for now. Because Mega's an A, Giga's gotta just be better. It does more things. We're moving the Giga up to S tier. Okay, we're doing it. All right, Giga's S tier. This one's gonna be surprising. A Munter. A Munter's free. It lives in your brain. It is light. It's conceptual. It lives up here. Once you know a Munter, and what happens when you drop any of these Belay devices? What happens? Up, there comes the Munter. Everybody should know how to tie a Munter. Nah, Josh, the Munter twists my rope. If you make it into a super Munter, it doesn't. Or if you belay in parallel, it doesn't. The Munter is S tier. I'm sorry if you don't think that way, but the Munter is completely S tier. You could do a lot. And the guys I talk to, I say, hey, how do you belay, when you want to belay 2 people up, what do you do? And he's like, you want to know the truth? I said, yeah, stacked Munters. Stacked Munters is the way to go. Look at that. Okay, Munter's S tier. If you don't know how to do a Munter like this, shame on you. Go do it. Go watch some of my videos or something. Come on. The Neox is a new kid on the block, okay? You have to earn your stripes. We have to see how many people the Neox kills. I got 2 Neoxes here. I'm testing them out. I'm going to do some fun videos with them. It's got a wheel in here. The way some people think that the wheels stops spinning by like speed, like let's say a Revo, but no, it like lifts up, and then because it lifts up and comes off that axis, it then catches. We'll do a whole breakdown video. We'll save that for the breakdown video and the take apart video and everything else I'm going to do with this thing. $150, 235 grams. That makes this thing one of the heaviest on this list. This thing it's got some chunk to it. It's a chunker. Would I repel with this? No. No. Can you repel with this? I don't even know if you can repel with this. It's more dangerous than a Grigri. Am I wrong about that? I think it's more I mean, on this thing, it literally says, always hold the brake side of the rope. We got an extra warning on this. I mean, they tell you to do that on a Grigri too, but look, we got it on here. Okay, so what does it get? A D tier. I think it just needs to earn its stripes. I think it does pay out slack better. Maybe it gives a better belay, but I just don't know enough about it. I think it needs more time to live up to its name, and then maybe it could go up in the tier list. But right now, it's getting this, and you can't repel on 2 lines. You can't take 2 people up at the same time with it. So we're getting D. It's a D. Let's see if anyone in the chat has any experience with it. Chat's agreeing with me 100%. Can you still top rope belay with the Neox? Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to top rope belay with the Neox. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that. It'd be if you could lead belay with the Neox, you certainly could top rope belay with the Neox. I don't see why not. This is, if you've never seen one, this is an OG plate. An OG plate. This is what we first had. Well, we first kind of had just these plates. This has got a little spring to it. This is kind of after body belaying. We've moved on to this, adding some friction onto a carabiner. And then we went to like these tube devices, like at ATC. So there's a couple different plate devices like this. What does the OG get? Okay, if you showed up with this, stitch plate. If you showed up with this thing, I would think that you've been climbing for a long time, and I would feel completely confident in your ability. You're either some kind of hipster that collects vintage climbing devices. I might be scared of some kind of microfractures, but I think this would instill confidence. This one's got swag points. $20, light, 62 grams. Are you going to be able to find one? I don't know. The OG plate is getting C tier. Okay, C tier. Sue me. Fight me. It's getting C tier. Which is better than the Neox. But it's been around longer, okay? It's been around the block, and it does multiple things, and it probably gives a damn good belay. All right, the Black Diamond, this is the pivot. Yeah, the pivot. Or is this the pilot? No, it's not. I think I'm confusing the pilot and the pivot, which I do all the time. This is the pivot. The pilot's made by DMM. This is $40. Another one trick pony. You're only going to get the rope through here. It has this geometry braking again, like we've seen before. Let's see, what's the weight? $40, 72 grams, pretty light. Like it's a one trick pony, like I said. So we could decide real quick on the pivot. The pivot's getting B tier, just based on the weight and what it does. I almost want to give it C tier, to be honest, because I honestly wouldn't buy it if I had anything else in B tier. Like I would completely, but you know what? It does break, so I would give it. I would trust it more than some other devices. Okay, I'm a little torn on this one, but I got it as a B tier on my list because of price and because of weight. So it's just going to B tier. It's going to B tier. That's just where the math. We're gonna have to go to the chat for this one. What is chat saying? It can't be as good as a Grigri. That is a really good point. It's like here. It's literally C plus. It's literally C plus. Okay, we're gonna. You know what? We'll put it as C tier. I had it as B tier on my list because of weight and price, but because it's a one-trick pony, and I'm not gonna repel on it, it's going to C tier. Okay, so that's where it's going. All right, let's see. Where were we? OG Pilot. Okay, this device I really like. Now, this is made by DMM, I believe. Yes, it says it right there. I can read. Apparently, I can't read because right here it says clearly pivot. It's just weird that the pilot pivots and the pivot pilots. So, oops. This guide mode latch over here really instills confidence. I feel like that's not going to snap off. I like it. I like it a lot. It looks solid. It looks bomber. It just, I don't know what, I think it's just DMM gear in general. Just gives me a good feeling inside. I don't know why. Now, okay, what's the weight? The Pilot is $50. 86 grams. It's got enough confidence feeling. And it does a lot of things. It does a lot of things. Now, if my belayer lets go of the rope, am I going to die? Yes. So I would completely give this to I wouldn't mind giving this at all to a guide or someone that's really good. You know, somebody that I trust. This got swag to it. Would I give it to Gumby? Not if they're going to be looking around. I have people text me all the time. Josh, I invited this guy from the gym to belay me, and he dropped me. Yeah, I say, you know what I tell him? I give everybody I don't trust a Grigri, because they really can't mess that up. They could, but it's likely that if they're going to be looking the other way in a different direction. So anyway, what do we give the Pilot? Pilot is A tier. It's above the Grigri. It can do more things than a Grigri. It's A tier. I think it's A tier. What have we? What is a swivel for? It's not a swivel. This is just like here. It's a guide mode attachment so that you could take a second up. I should have. Do I not have a YouTube video on guide mode? Oh my gosh. My plate is completely filled with videos that I have to make. It's really kind of embarrassing. But no, that's a guide mode attachment there. That's not a swivel. It does actually, well, I mean, it does move. But swivel, when you say swivel, I imagine spin. And it doesn't spin. Okay, next is the pinch. I really like the pinch. I'm just going to say, I really like the pinch. Do I have a pinch? No. Do I want a pinch? Yes. Now, the price, $120. Okay, it's kind of pricey. It's more than a Grigri. But they added this feature here. Where you can get it. It now is able to get closer to your harness. So if you have a beaner on your belay loop attached to a Grigri, you have like a couple links of distance that's adding to your belay, adding slack. This thing is bringing things closer. I like that. The weight, it's got weight to it. 234 grams as compared to a Grigri, which a Grigri is 175 grams. It's heavier than a Grigri? Is it really? Wow, I got to get my hands on one of these. That's really interesting. But because of the weight, because of how heavy it is, and because how much it is, it's going to A tier. I think it's a better. I think it's a. Is it a? I don't know what the friction is on it. It says 8.5 to 10.5. It goes up to a pretty thick rope. It's got a good range. I think it's really good. I'm putting it over here because it could do more than a Grigri. I'm putting it above a Grigri. It's getting A tier. It's getting A. What do you guys think? Getting one at some point deserves an A because buttons are cool. Yes, it's got a button. It's got a button. Yeah, buttons are cool. I agree. I agree. Sorry. Where are we at? Where are we? Pinch. We did the pivot. All right. This is a plate. It's a regular old plate. Very similar to this tube device that we talked about. It's the OG device. It's pretty much this OG device, except it's not because it's got the spring here. 62 grams and 20 bucks. How do you not beat 20 bucks? I would hate for this thing to get anything really, really good. But the Belay would be kind of weird. Because it doesn't have this loop down here, like this ATC, or you see how this thing kind of has this spring here, you have to worry about it riding up the rope. And yeah, I'm going to give this, I wouldn't want to Belay with this thing. Because it's so cheap and so light, on paper, a plate would have a C tier, but I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it down to like, I wouldn't want to be belayed with this thing, to be honest. I'm bringing it down. I think I'm going to bring it down to F tier. I wouldn't want, I would be like a little eeked if someone tried belaying me with this. There's a point where cheap with price really doesn't mean good. Cheaper doesn't mean good. It could double as a belt buckle. Yeah, it does have versatility. It does have utility points, but I'm bringing it down there. I wouldn't want to be belayed with that. Oh, the Revo. I have a Revo. I don't like the Revo. I'm sorry. I also don't like the Revo. $140, 245 brain smacking grams. It's pretty. I like the fact that they're innovative and they're cool, but kind of a one-trick pony. It breaks from speed. I don't know exactly how it does that. I kind of want to do a take-apart video or something. I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Does anybody in the chat? What are your recommendations? Because I'm telling you, I'm gonna give it a on paper. On paper, it's getting an F tier. On paper, it's getting an F, and I don't know. I own one, and I don't use it. It hangs on my shelf. I wouldn't give it to a belayer. It's kind of confusing. It's really weird. It's got like this, like, it almost feels like if someone gives me this, they better give me the user manual as well. I cannot just give this to somebody because I literally forgot which side it goes to. It doesn't have instructions on it like a Grigri does. Now, I even forgot, I haven't used it in so long, I even forgot if it's just dummy proof. If you could put the rope on either side, maybe you can. Maybe that's why they don't care about whatever. It's going to F tier. I don't like it. I don't dig it. Heavy, expensive, and not for me. Tree ornament. Yeah, it's a Christmas tree ornament. It's going over here. Beep. Sorry if I offended anybody. The Revo, everybody. Sorry. I've seen people try to rope solo with this thing, and for it to break, this has to click up like you saw. And what happens is it'll click up, and then if there's rope weight, it'll click it back down. And then they'll like jump down. Click, 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 click. I think Jan did a video on that. I think it was Jan. I mean, if it's a rope solo video, it had to be Jan. Let's see. F tier. Sorry if there's any fanboys for the Revo. It's not getting the WWJD. What would Joshua do? Oh, you can clip it wrong. Interesting. Oh no, it's bi-directional, but you can clip it wrong. Oh, Okay, yeah, I don't like that. I don't want my device to be confusing. It needs to be dummy proof. Because if I'm climbing with somebody that hasn't been climbing for very long, you know, I'm not saying they're dumb, but the Smart 2.0 by Mammut. This is the single rope version. However, there is a a stack side by side. Now, I know what you're gonna say, Josh, you're a Mammut fanboy, and I am. I really do like Mammut, and I like the ropes, and I like what they do for the industry. $40 for this thing, 80 grams, it's light. It breaks mechanically. However, it's not completely dummy proof. They add an extra part to the top of this thing because if the ropes come in completely parallel, you really don't get a perfect catch. The rope could run fast and you could have an accident. So it's just not completely safe. But I really do like it, and it's super light and it's super cheap. And if someone had that, I would say, oh, wow, let me try that. I think it's pretty cool. It's very similar to the Black Diamond pivot. And because of that, it's going to be right next to it. Except it can do more things because it can take 2 ropes. I don't have enough experience with it. That thing looks huge. I think the camera just makes things look bigger. All the devices are going to start going behind my head. If there's any more. We only have one more device. We only have one more device, and we're done. Okay, so the last device on our list, the Vergo. This is a better Grigri, okay? It just is. Our friend Ben from Hard is Easy did a video on it. It feeds slack sideways, and because of that, when the rope gets pulled up, it breaks. So it's a safer Grigri. Price on this puppy currently, $100. Not bad. A Grigri is $80. So it's a little bit more money than a Grigri. It's 195 grams. It's a little bit heavier than a Grigri, but it's a little safer than a Grigri. You can't use 2 ropes, but because of how good this device is at saving people's lives, it's going in A tier, and I really want to just give it S tier because there's just not enough things in S tier. You know what I'll do? Because this is the best tube device, I'm going to say there's got to be another column. This is the best Grigri mechanical device. I think that's how I'm going to end that. S minus, yeah. I think it's up there. It could either hop from here to here, but we're gonna say that we have these 2 these are the 2. If you want to find the best kind of devices to get for the best belay, you're gonna get this. For the if you're a guide or you want to you want to run, let people run, probably this. Although I have had people use an 8 and really let me slide, but it's gonna be this or it's gonna be that. And that wraps it up. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this live video. I'm gonna edit it. The chat will be in the video up here, and we'll cut out any of the fluff that got added in. Nice seeing you guys again. Been super busy. I have a ton of videos on my plate, trying to get them out when I can. I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And Josh Perry climbing out of here.